y'all, and welcome to another edition of the TexTube Guy Reels. Today I was rummaging around through my garage, and then lo and behold, yeah, I found all my VHS tapes. So I thought I'd go through and show y'all the horror ones. I pulled those out. I'll probably do maybe 2 other segments dealing with, I won't tell you right now, but so without further ado, there's quite a bit to get through, and I was really excited when I found these. A few gems, few really old ones in here, so you know, as usual, this is going to be part 1 because there's quite a bit to go through, but at the end, you know, of every part, leave your comments, suggestions, whatever. So let me start out here. First one I got up is Halloween, the limited edition, and this is the 2 tape set. Pretty awesome. They're orange. It's also numbered. This is 20,677 out of 40,000, and it's an Anchor Bay release. I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, next is, this is like a magnetic video. Wow, that's a blast from the past. John Carpenter's The Fog. I remember the first videotapes I started, you know, getting way back in late 70s, early 80s, were this Magnetic Video Corporation, you know, address and all. They came in different packaging, but, you know, these are the ones I remember. And the old logo, which will pop up later, I'm sure. So, another good movie. I feel like I'm rambling already. Alright, the next one is my media basket case. I think this was a former rental. There's some wear on it. Yeah, little labeling back there, but still a good movie. Right, then one of my favorites, Hell Night. This is by Best Video. Yes. Good Linda Blair film. Next I have up is Vestron Videos, The House on Sorority Row. Oh, something just fell off. Yeah, I remember purchasing this and watching it and thinking it was a pretty good film. I think better than the sort of remake they made. Next up is Video Treasures, Silent Scream. Kind of short movie, 87 minutes. I know I watched this a couple times, but I never remember it. Next I have the Paramount release of My Bloody Valentine, the original. Now, you know, I really kind of like these old Paramount. Just, you know, the presentation. I wish they would have put some artwork in here, but, you know, tape slid out. But the only issue was you're supposed to break this tab off here and slip it in there, but when you would do that, you pull at it and pull at it, it ended up ripping this cover art, so I never pulled the tabs. Next up is another Video Treasures. I believe this was a markdown, and it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Not as good as the original, but still fun to watch. Next up is what video? Video Treasures again, Day of the Dead. This is a good film. Maybe a little better, gorier than, no, definitely gorier than Night of the Living Dead. Good film. Next up, I have one of my all-time favorites, and that would be Terror Train. And this is on the Key Video. And there's a little wear on the back of this, but I remember purchasing this new. I love this film. I waited and waited for it to get a DVD release, and finally we got that. Next up is Star Maker Video with Shockwaves. I also own this on DVD. I remember always getting this confused with Rabid, but it's a good Peter Cushing film. Next up is Fox Lorber Video, and I had a few friends on an old horror site I used to belong to that told me, you gotta watch this movie called Habit, and it's it's a vampire flick, and it's really low budget. I didn't really find anything fresh about it or different, and I found the acting kind of mediocre, so it didn't do much for me. Next is a more current film, I guess, The Curve. I'm sure most of you have seen it. I'm not sure if this has ever gotten a DVD release. I think it has. Let me know if it has. Next up is John Carpenter's the original Assault on Precinct 13. Great film. Love this film. New Line Cinema put this out. That wasn't originally who put it out, but next up is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. That's by Universal. Next up is The Return of Boogeyman. I remember this film sucked. Artisan film, probably from the 90s. Christopher Plummer, Margot Kidder, The Clown at Midnight. Decent film, kind of atmospheric, takes place in a theater. Of course, as I recently found out, a few of my buddies on here, who I won't name, are terrified of clowns as much as I am. So I think it's funny. I can watch films about them and terrorize myself, but in real life, no, thanks. Another film, and this is by Good Times Video, Graduation Day with Christopher George, and actually Vanna White has a small role in this film, for those of you trivia buffs. Next up is Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, of course a younger Viggo Mortensen. Embassy Video, The Howling. I'm going to dedicate this film right here to a Scottish film fan, since he just got that terrific Digipack 1 that was offered over in the UK. That was a fantastic package. Next up, we have Zombie 2, or Zombie, The Dead Are Among Us by TZ Video. Yeah, pretty good film. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you Vestron Video. I don't know if I've seen anybody spotlight this, DVD or otherwise, but this is just one of my favorite films of all time. I just think it's really atmospheric. I love the story, and it shows you the night of the birth of Frankenstein and Dracula, and that's gothic. Great film. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you try to track down a copy of this. I think it may be out of print on DVD, but fantastic film. Next up, trying to rummage through some other stuff here, is a newer release, Relic, monster movie, pretty good. Next up is Columbia Pictures' Fright Night, little different artwork. I believe that was on one of the DVDs. Next up is Paramount Pictures' 1986 April Fool's Day, pretty good film. This chick right here, Amy Steele, I only remember her doing this, some television prison film, and of course Friday the 13th Part 2, she played Ginny. I don't think she's been in anything else. If I'm wrong, let me know. Next up is the HBO video, The Burning, Worn Out. I remember buying this at a video store. Of course, it was facing the window, but I really wanted this film, so you take what you can get. Next, from AIP Studios,